Hello 8th grade math scholars. To start your ELT today, you are looking at some one-step equations. So I challenge you today to not just worry about finishing, but to worry about making sure your work is correct. So remember, we solve equations by always performing the inverse operation. So if I look at number 1, for number 1, I have negative 12n equals 156. So I see that the number and the variable are being multiplied, so I'm just going to go ahead and divide. N equals, so the negative 12 divided by negative 12 was a positive 1, and I have to do 156 divided by 12. 12 goes into 15 once. Subtract, and I got 3. Brought down the 6, 12 goes into 36, 3 times. And n equals 13. So that's the correct step for number 1. For number 2, just remember, fractions are showing you division. So when I see this, it's n divided by 9, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to multiply by 9. And I get n equals negative 19 times 9, 910. And since this was a negative times a positive, it's a negative 101. Also over here I forgot, it's a positive divided by a negative, so it wouldn't just be 13, it would be a negative 13. So even Miss Future Boney has to make sure and double check her work. Okay guys, for the next page, it's all about scientific and standard notation. So I'm looking at 6.9 times 10 to the 4th power. If my exponent is positive, I'm going to move my decimal to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if it's positive, I'm going to be making my number bigger. So 69,000 is equivalent to 6.9 times 10 to the 4th power. They're equivalent forms. Okay, I'm going to do one more with a negative example. So if I look at this one, times 10 to the negative 3rd, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. It's decimal 0.0073, like that. Negative exponent, I move to the left, I'm making my number smaller. And then when I'm writing number in scientific notation, I want one number that's not 0 in front of the decimal. In number 16, the number is 45. 45 doesn't have a decimal, so I start from the end and move it in once. I get 4.5. I'm going to multiply it times 10, and then my exponent is going to be a 1 because I moved the decimal once. But I have to think, is it positive or negative? So I think I know to move this back out of scientific notation, to turn it back into 45, I'd have to go this way to the right. So my exponent is going to be a positive 1. I'm just moving it one time. And then we look at number 17. Number 17, I want the decimal to land here. So I would move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 8.5 times 10 to the 5th power. But when I think about it, I need my decimal to go this way to turn it back into this number. So that would be a negative because I would be moving my decimal back out to the left. After you do that, you have some practice rounding. So just remember you're rounding to the place indicated. 5 or more, go next door or ground up. 4 or less, let it rest or just stay. So I look at the number behind the 8 because I want to round to the 8. I get 4.07 is 5 or more, so the 8's going to go up to a 9, and then I just rounded. For number 23, this 6 right here, the number behind it is a 2, so the number is going to stay a 6. After you round, you're just getting some practice with integers, which I know you're getting better at, and then that will be your ELT. Thank you for your hard work.